Hey guys, how you guys doing? This is Adenugu. I hope you guys had a wonderful week. And sorry I haven't made a video in a while. I've been so busy with work. But anyway, so today I'm actually going to address a topic that is very dear to my heart. And that's about bullies. So last week I kind of posted on my Facebook and Instagram a picture of me back in high school. And I kind of talked about how I was bullied, and today I'm actually going to share the story in full. It hurts really bad every single time I read an article about a little girl, a little boy that committed suicide because of bullies back home. And it makes me cry. It pains me because I'm like, I used to be that little girl. I can understand what they went through, you know? So when I first came to this country, I wasn't aware of, race. Nobody ever really discussed race to me, with me. To me, it's either you're black or you're white. That was my understanding of race. Even black people, Asians, Mexicans, Indians, everybody was white. People that looked like that was white to me. If you looked like me, then you're considered black. So when I first started middle school, I came to realize that I wasn't welcomed in my own community, among people that look like me. I was bullied by African Americans. The only people that welcomed me was white people, Asians, Mexicans, and every other immigrant. Black people didn't welcome me at all. They hated me for no reason. I was called different names and all this stuff. So I remember I used to be so scared of going to school because I never knew if I'm gonna come back home alive. And I hated Mondays. I hated, Sundays. Whenever Sunday comes around, I get this panic attack that, oh my gosh, tomorrow is school, I have tried to lie to my parents that I was sick so I don't have to go back. I remember back in middle school, I cried so much that I had to go to my teacher. I'll never forget his name, Mr. Whiteware. And I cried and I was like, I'm so tired of this place. I want to go back here, go back to my country. The kids that don't like me, they called me different names. Like they would call me, oh, African booty scratcher, African monkey, ape, like you're so ugly, you look like an ape. And even during soccer team, like period 7, PE courses, they wouldn't even, the teacher would be like, okay, form a team. And my school was predominantly black people. So the teacher, African Americans, and they have other races, and then, it's a low income family. So they would say, the teacher would be like, okay, form a team. They will form a team and they'd be like, okay, pick a captain, pick, whoever that you want to be in your team. They will pick everybody else, but they will not pick me. And it's always like, oh, I don't want no African bitch in my team. I don't want no African monkey in my team. I don't want no African booty scratcher in my team. It's always because I'm an African person. So people looked at me like I was stupid or whatever. And I could be sitting in class like this, and somebody would just write on my, write a note, and a sticky note, and put it on my back that says, I am very ugly. I am an African ape. So kick me. And I'm walking around the entire school with that sign. And people are laughing. I never knew why they were laughing until maybe somebody, maybe a teacher or something, sees it and take it off my back. Like, even when I got to high school, nobody ever ate with me. Nobody ever said anything to me besides cursing me out. So, like how they have lockers in school where you can put your textbook. I've been in situations where I'm trying to open my locker, and then somebody will come in, or trying to get a book from my locker, and somebody will come in and slam me and be like, bitch, or whatever, African monkey, or whatever, and slam me inside it. And I can't do anything. And the teachers can't do anything because in America, kids, they have more power than adults. And the teachers saw what was going on. The kids would be like, oh, we're sucking up to the teachers. But the good thing is that I never got suspended. They got suspended. And it used to hurt me. And I'm like, why is it that African Americans don't like me? Like, what did I do? Nothing. So I remember there was a time I got into a fight, me and my sister, with this girl named Latoya in I think it was in Fremont High School, and it was, I think it was period 5. What had happened was that what was it? She was the teacher gave her the, the papers to pass out. It was an English class, and she gave everybody their paper, and she put me and my sister's own on a different desk. And somebody was like, "Oh, you're not gonna give it to them." She was like, "No, I don't talk to them African bitches. I don't talk to them African bitches." And then somebody said to me, "Oh, she called you a bitch. She called you an African bitch." I was like, "Well, it is not me that is a bitch." Remember that time my accent was super thick. I was like, "It is her mother that is a bitch, not me. I am not a bitch." So the girl, then they were like, "Oh, she just called your mama a bitch. She just called your mama a bitch." This girl was like, "No African monkey calls my mama a bitch. No African monkey calls my mama a bitch." And me, my whole body was shaking. I was like, "Oh my God, Jesus Christ, Jesus Christ." Because she's a big girl. She's tall and, she's way bigger than me. I'm a very tiny, tiny little thing. This girl came to me. Bam! Fight. It started. And back then, I didn't know I was that strong. Chai! My villagetic hand, I was like, bah, 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 bah. Me and my sister, we beat that girl, We beat that girl like crazy. Ever since then, she stopped bothering us. We started getting respect from her. But, it was just, it wasn't only her. There were a lot of kids. They just kept on bothering us. Like during lunchtime, me and my sister, we find an empty classroom and we go in there, we'll lock it, and just, that's when we breathe. We're like, "Oh my gosh, thank God it's lunch. Nobody is going to push us." Like, I can be walking down the hallway and somebody will come and push me and then I'll fall. And, or, maybe we're eating something. Somebody will just come and maybe throw a paper or a pen in our food and be like, "Bitches." And it used to hurt me, but I'm like, why is it coming from people that look like me? I hated African Americans with passion. When I first came to this country, I'm like, I didn't understand it. I wasn't welcomed. And even, that's why I didn't go to my high school graduation, because this girl and her sister, they threatened to kill us, that they're going to jump me and they're going to shoot me and all this stuff. So I lied to my parents that, I didn't let them know the reason why I didn't want to go to high school. And luckily my older sister was getting married that time, so she called us and she was like, "Oh, she wants to fix the date. What do we think?" I suggested immediately the graduation date weekend. I said to her, "That's the perfect time." And I was very close to my older sister. I called her. I was like, "Book it that time." And then after that, I was like, "Okay, oh, I'm going to my sister's graduation." So it was easier for me to miss, my sister's wedding. So it was easier for me to miss the graduation. And that was exactly what I wanted. But I used to be so scared. Even going to the bathroom used to scare me, because I'm like, these girls might come in here and they will kill me. And, they always travel in groups. So I'll beg the teacher. I'll be like, "Please, please, please, can you take me to the bathroom?" And I have cried to my teachers. I'm like, "I just want to leave. I'm so, sad. I don't like it here. I just want to go home." It was very emotional. So I was like, "You know what? I can't wait to leave." So when I finally graduated high school, I'm like, "Okay, thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus." So I was hoping that college would be better. And thank God, college was better. I kind of finally opened my mind to actually understand African Americans, because I didn't understand them, So I started making friends with African Americans, and I'm very happy I opened up my mind and not just shut my mind off against African Americans, because now I have an amazing African American friends. But every single time I come onto social media, there's always an argument about Africans versus African Americans, and African Americans feeling like Africans think that they're better than them, and Africans feeling like African Americans don't like them. And I think it's based on our experiences when we get here, because every African that I have spoken to, that when they first came to this country, one of the things that all of us had in common was that when we first came, we were not welcomed in the African American community. All the friends that I have that went to middle school, high school here, one of the things that they say all the time was that they were bullied. and it's always by African Americans, which is very, very sad. And I hope that as we get older, as we, as we evolved or whatever, that these two, communities will actually find a way to come together and actually work at one. I hope that the only thing that is not going to bring us together as one is when a crime is being committed to one of us on TV. Then all of us were, oh, we're all black, we're all black. And then after that, everybody go their separate ways. We start hitting on each other. But my point is that bullying is happening every single time. It's still happening on social media. You come on social media, all these groups I'm in, that people keep on adding me. You see, like, people are bullying each other behind keyboard, and people are committing suicide all the time because of this, and nobody is talking about this. And I'm like, parents really need to talk to their children, especially in middle school, high school, like in elementary school. If you see a kid that is eating by themselves, go there, talk to them, welcome them, be their friend. Because sometimes I wish somebody had ever said to me, do you want to go out for lunch or something, or even invite me to eat with them. It would have made a difference. And then we get so shocked when kids grow up or whatever. At a point, we start seeing kids go into school and start shooting people. And I'm like, why are they shooting people? How were they treated by other people there? So these are the things that people really don't talk about. We just say, oh, somebody committed suicide because they're being bullied, and that's it. It's bigger than we think that it is. It's a huge problem in schools of kids being bullied. It's a very big problem. And I hope, we start this conversation, because thank God, from the community, I came from a Nigerian community where in school I wasn't liked. It was depressing for me. But outside school, I had Nigerian friends that that pushed me to even do better for myself. And then I have parents that are always telling me, just because somebody called you a bitch, it doesn't mean that that's your name or whatever. So the support was there for me outside the school. But imagine if I didn't have that support outside the school. I don't know. But I just hope that we become more conscious when we talk to people, the things we say to people, because we don't know what people are going through, how it affects them. But anyway, this is what I wanted to talk about bullies. But yeah, hey, let's talk about it. Were you bullied when you first came to this country? If you're an immigrant, how did you handle it? Like, what's your take on this topic? All right, then, bye bye.